Rugby World Cup, game number 2, folks, sees Italy taking on Namibia from St. Etienne. It is predictably a one-sided affair on paper, but the Namibians will be putting their best foot forward. It is a Rugby World Cup after all. We'll go through the lineups, some stats, recent history predictions, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. I say recent history. It's kind of not that recent. I'm supposed to be really hot in France right now. I've been watching press conferences and whatnot, and people are sweating buckets. It seems to be very, very hot. But I feel like Italians and Namibians will probably be more used to some of the hot weather than some of the other players from various parts of the world. But we'll see if they need to take kind of water breaks and whatnot throughout this game. Recent history, like I mentioned, not that recent, but maybe a little bit surprising. By my count, they have played 4 times. And Namibia were at one point 2-0 up over the Italians back in 1991. Namibia beat Italy 17-7 and 33-19. But how things have changed. The more recent games, 2001, Italy beat them 49-24. And then the last result at the 2019 World Cup was 47-22. So, yeah, the Italians have come good against the Namibians. Apparently, we'll see if it is going to be such a lopsided scoreline again this weekend. You feel like probably, but like I said, World Cup. Teams have got their country's pride on the line. They'll be tackling their hearts out. For the Italians, their lineup is pretty similar to the one that last played a couple of weeks ago when they beat the Japanese pretty handily. They put on a couple of nice tries at the end to really kind of blow the scoreline out. And their outside backs have absolutely been setting the world alight, which is a little bit worrying from a Namibian point of view, having seen a bit of their game against Chile. But yeah, for the Italians, Fischetti comes in to start at loose head prop after being on the bench. The tackling machine, Nicotera, is still there at hooker. He's one of the Italians' top tacklers, 13 plus a game recently. And then Ferrari is there at tight head prop. Dino Lam starts in the second row alongside Ruzza. It's a pretty skilled second row, I would say. And then Negri, Lamaro, and Cannone are your 6, 7, and 8. I like Sebastian at 6. He is genuinely the all-round package, almost said generally. Recent games, he's been averaging like 12 tackles a game, just behind Nicotera as one of their top tacklers, but also getting the run meters. I think he had, was it average of like 40 or 50 odd beating defenders. He is a proper unit at number 6. Lamaro is captain at 7. Obviously gets a lot more of the kind of media spotlight, but man, old Seb at number 6, look out for him. He's a big unit. Varney and Garbisi, that's 9 and 10. That seems to be the preferred combo of Kieran Crowley for the Italians in recent times. And Garbisi is certainly, one of the more skilled 10s to play for Italy in recent kind of generations. He's certainly able to unlock what is a really exciting backline. Morisi and Brex, 12 and 13, and then I mentioned the man, Monty Ioane has had 5 tries recently, 3 against Japan. Capuozzo been averaging more than 160 run meters a game. Been playing at wing and fullback since his return from injury, got a couple of tries as well. And then Tommaso, Allan, so they've also got kind of a dual playmakers thing, the Italians, with 2 10s essentially, 1 at 10, 1 at 15 with Garbisi and Allan. So, yeah, man, these guys could be let loose and score some tries. Fiver, Neymar, and Riccioni are the front row replacements. CC comes into the 23 as your lock replacement. Zuliani, your loose forward replacement. And then Page-Relo, whose stocks have recently gone up since he's made his way into the Italian camp. He seems to have made himself at least the second choice 9 in the Italian squad. Odogwu, recent kind of call out to the Italian squad, is there as well as your kind of outside back and centre replacement. And then Bruno is also into the 23 as another kind of outside back replacement. For Namibia, admittedly, I am way less familiar with the Namibian squad than I am with the Italians. I did mention I saw a little bit of their game where they had a comeback win against Chile the other day. They beat them 28-26 after being 26-7 down at one point. So the Namibians certainly have a bit of heart, and they scored tries in a variety of ways, which is really encouraging. There's some veterans there, like Torsten van Jaarsveld. He has certainly, been a stalwart for Namibian rugby for quite some time. Former Cheetahs player. I feel like he's playing his rugby in Division 2 in France at the moment. There's a lot of these guys playing, like a lot of these guys I recognise from the MLR, which games I've seen. Some of these guys are playing in France in D2. Some of them playing in local rugby in Namibia. and then there's a few guys who like Super Rugby and whatnot. So it's a real mixed bag, I guess, of this Namibian squad. Richard Hardwick is probably the biggest name guy at number 8. He's former Wallaby, a couple of caps for them. Goes back to his country of birth, which is Namibia, so he's still playing his rugby in Super Rugby. Tian Swanepoel, another kind of South African rugby is where I'm familiar with seeing him for the Lions. Kicks his goals pretty well is what I think of when I think Tian Swanepoel. I think he had 100% against Chile, but a few of them were pretty much straight out in front. JC Grayling on the left wing scored a great try against Chile from a scrum set play. Devan Rousseau got a nice intercept try. Daisel is the captain at 13. So, it's the same front row, I think, as they played recently. As I said, they can score tries from a real variety of places. And I hope this guy, Leroux Milan, gets on from the bench. He is their outside back replacement. And I've seen him play in the MLR, and he genuinely looks the business. So, I guess that's one pleasing thing about the MLR, which is not really like the top tier competition in terms of rugby competitions, but it does give a chance for some of these guys to essentially play professional rugby as their job. That can only make for better rugby players. So, yeah, man, against Chile, Namibia scored a scrum move try, an intercept try, a maul try, and then like a close range, Damian Stevens, the halfback, pops it to one of the forwards to bust over. So, yeah, potentially some encouraging signs, but like I said, it's going to be a big step up for these guys when they go on to face the Italians. Stats-wise, they're similar pack weights, although the Italians are a lot younger, especially in the forwards. I think the Namibians are averaging about 30 years old for the forwards, whereas it's like 26, 27 for the Italians. For the Namibians, man, very concerningly, they missed 33 tackles against Chile in the game that they won and conceded 7 clean breaks. And the Chileans have got some pretty exciting backs. They like to spin it wide, and so do the Italians. Like I said, they've been hammering. They hammered Romania, and they put 40 points on Japan. Monty Ioane got a hat-trick against Japan. So, yeah, I worry a little bit for Namibia, given what Italy's been doing recently and what Chile was able to score against Namibia. But, I mean, on the positive side, they did win 9 turnovers, and their line-out was operating like 80% plus. So it's going to need to be that at least against the Italians. For the Italians, man, they concede most of their points in the first quarter. So they'll be looking to kind of turn that trend around. They'll be looking to come out of the blocks firing against the Namibian side that they should be putting away. And they do score a lot of tries in the final quarter, do the Italians. So, yeah, that might be the case here if fitness becomes a factor or if the heat becomes a factor. But essentially, they'll be wanting to reverse their trend of not being a first 20-minute team and probably put the Namibians away early, I would say. They've been getting 25 defenders beaten a game. Like I said, the Namibians missed 33 tackles against Chile. That part is concerning. They scored 9 tries against Romania, albeit with a man extra. One thing, though, is they conceded maul tries. The Italians, they've conceded more tries against Romania, they've conceded more tries against Ireland, Wales, England, and Namibia scored a nice maul try against Chile. So if the Namibians can get some close range action, try them all, man. It's a proven method of success against this Italian side, and they've done it against Chile, so why not? It is on at Saint-Etienne. Andrew Brace is the ref. It's a 1 p.m. local kickoff time, which is 11 p.m. for those of us in New Zealand, which is not the greatest time, but it's not too bad. There are games after that, like 1:30 in the morning, which are kind of less appealing in terms of time zone. So I will, in all likelihood, be watching this one live, watching the guys kind of sweat buckets in the hot weather over in France. If you want Italian gear, check out Level Rugby. They've got multiple rugby teams, not Namibia, but they do have Italy if you want to get yourself some rugby gear. They're an affiliate of the channel. Predictions-wise, it's Italy by 33, according to the algorithm. No, according to the bookies, and 25 points. According to the Rugby Forecast algorithm. So not predicted to be too much of an effort for them. But like I said, for an Italian point of view, they need to come out of the blocks firing and really put the Namibians away. But the Namibians at a World Cup, man, this is basically as big as it's going to get for them. And they're going to be doing it for their country. So, yeah, man, get your Windhoek ready and see what kind of effort they can put in to this game. Subscribe to the channel, folks. It'd be appreciated. Take care, and I'll talk to you again soon. See ya.